United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Spence, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Culpepper.
Present.
Mr. Griffiths.
Here.
Mr. Huntington. Is present. Mr. Martin.
Present.
Ms. Mia is excused. Dr. Stevens-Gunn.
Present.
Mr. Willis.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum to conduct business this evening.
Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the agenda for the February 23rd meeting. Second.
The agenda has been approved, a motion has been approved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any announcements or communications?
Yeah, I just do have one for the people who are in the chambers today. If you are here for our site plans this evening, PSP 21-0013 for Triumph Church, or PSP 22-0001 for Sky Construction, both of those items are going to be postponed this evening. So again, they will not be discussed. The Planning Commission will make, or staff will make a recommendation later in the meeting during the site plan portions. But if you are here this evening for those two items, they will not be heard tonight, but will be, come back to the Planning Commission at a later date. And with that, that's all that staff has.
Thank you. We're going to begin with a public hearing for PZRRUDD 22-0001.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is the rezoning request to create a residential unit development district to rezone 4.62 acres of land from R1 single-family residential to residential unit development, RUDD, property located at 21030 Indian Street. It's better known as the John Gray Center or John Gray School. Property is located on the east side of Indian between 8 and Shiawassee. The image that is currently on the screen kind of gives you an overview of the property and the surrounding, which is basically single-family residential. Then farther to the south, you do have 8 Mile Road, where we have both industrial and light industrial type uses. So the closer image of the plan, you can see the existing school at the top portion of the slide, so that would be the north. And then on the south portion, you can see the recreational activities that are currently on that particular property. Existing conditions, what the school looks like from Indian Street. Zoning and future land use. Current zoning is R1 single-family residential with future land use as recreation conservation. Existing site layout, again showing the existing building, existing school on the north side, as well as the other amenities of the property. Proposed site plan. Now north is going to your left here on the screen. So Indian Street is actually on the bottom of the slide on the page. But this is the proposal from the petitioner this evening to use the existing John Gray Center, John Gray School, and convert to residential units for senior living, and also a U-shaped two-story building that would be an addition. There would be a connection between both of the existing school and then the proposed new building. That would be a two-story housing 42 units. New parking area, as well as some other additional amenities on the south side of the property for recreational opportunity. Colored site plan, definitely easier to see the various components of the site plan with the existing building. In light gray, the new building in the darker gray, all the landscaping proposed on site, parking in the white areas on the screen. Landscaping, there will be some new landscaping on the site, including a couple of new plazas. You can see on the interior of the new addition that there will be some walking paths as well as some additional landscaping on the interior of that courtyard. Excuse me. Proposed floor plans. So this would be the first floor of the existing school building. Second floor actually only has 4 units on it. This is the new building. So you'd be looking at a total of 21 units on the first floor and 21 units on the second floor. And these are the layout for each one of the room types. The 1-bedroom unit, which would be on your left, 2-bedroom unit on the right, and as well as barrier-free units on the property as well are being proposed. Elevations. You can see the top elevation that's on the screen is the existing school as you're looking east. So you can see what the new building would look like in relation to the existing school. And then you have the other elevations on the north, the east, and the south side. Colored elevations show the color of the building, the brick that's being proposed. These are the materials. And a couple perspectives. The top one is looking to the, you're looking northeast, and then the bottom one perspective, you're looking northwest. And with that, that concludes staff's presentation. Mr. John Abella is here this evening to present any additional information that the Planning Commission might require for this project.
Good evening. Again, Jeff, thank you for doing such a good job. You make my job so much easier. My name is John Abella. I'm with SDG Associates. I also have with me Janae Eisenmeger from Lockwood Group and Joe Christopher from Spalding de Decker Engineers. John Grace School is a landmark structure and deserving of preservation. The John Grace Arms is a project that not only proposes to adaptively reuse a structure built in 1921, but also serves an ever-growing need of affordable senior housing. 20.4% of Southfield's total population are individuals 65 years or older. The Lockwood Group manages over 500 senior apartments in Southfield that are set aside for senior households earning no more than 60% of the area's median income. There is a 2-year wait list for seniors desiring safe and affordable housing. The John Grace Arms will provide safe and affordable housing by adaptively reusing the existing structure on the site and by adding a new building that respects the character of the historic John Grace School and the neighborhood. The project, as proposed, will have 60 residences, 7 of those will be barrier-free. We will have 51 single units and 9 double units. We'll have an internal courtyard with walking paths, benches, and a pavilion. Parking for 62 spaces on the site, and 8 of those being barrier-free, and 18 spaces on Indian Street. We will have professionally landscaped grounds, public art, and a public park. Many of the features within the existing school building will be maintained and preserved. Lockers, display cabinets, and some built-in cabinetry, the library, some of the clocks, and some chalkboards. The addition itself will be primarily constructed of a very similar brick. I brought it to show. We had somebody go out there and actually match the brick, so it's still in manufacture. We have taken great care to produce a building that respects the character of the existing structure, both in height and in width and in length. Some of the amenities within the building, these are 100% visitable units. What that means is there are no stepped entries, There's barrier-free parking is provided, barrier-free entry doors, some barrier-free bathrooms, electrical switches at reachable heights, and an accessible route through the living spaces. There's a game and activities room, there's a library, there is a community room which can be open to the public, which includes barrier-free restrooms and a small non-commercial kitchen. And we've had discussions with SMART to offer service to the building, and we are providing a covered drop-off pickup area for the residents, as well as a loading zone to accommodate those vehicles. My colleagues and I are happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing.
Before we do that, Madam Chair, I had requested some information on Lockwood. Do we have those slides?
I gave them to you.
Any information would be in this packet here.
Correct.
So I don't have a slide on Lockwood to show.
Well, maybe we could have the representatives. I wanted an introduction on the company as preceding the actual drill down on the RUDD. So
Yeah,
before
they are provided in the presentation. I do have it written out. Janae, would you like to?
So I'm gonna, I mean, you do what you have to tonight, but I'd like those in slide format for our council meeting.
I gave them.
Okay, well, I don't see them, so.
I mean, I'm not in control
Yes.
of the slides.
Yeah, they were not added to the PowerPoint. They are in this presentation, but not in the PowerPoint.
Shall I read you what is on those slides?
Just because it's a public hearing, I'd like that into the
So
record, please.
this is a statement from the developer. Per AARP, when it comes to future needs, our nation's housing is severely deficient. By 2030, 1 in every 5 Americans will be over the age of 65, and our nation will face a severe shortage in accessible and affordable housing to meet their needs. For the 2019 U.S. Census Bureau American Community Survey, there were 15,528 persons 65 and older residing in the city of Southfield. 20.4% of Southfield's total population are individuals 65 and older. Of those seniors, 36% live alone as of 2019, and the poverty rate for persons over 65 was 15%. From 2010 to 2019, the increase in seniors by age cohort are between 60 and 64. You went from 5,082 to 5,907. That's an increase of 825 residents. Between 65 and 69, between 2010 and 2019, went from 3,500 to 4,460. That's an increase of 950 residents. The age group 70 to 74, 2010 was 2,330. In 2019, it was 4,112, an increase of 1,782. And the age group 75 to 90, there were 2,069 residents in 2010, 2,420 in 2019, an increase of 351. Currently, as I stated before, the Lockwood Management manages over 500 senior apartments in the city of Southfield that are set aside for senior households earning no more than 60% of the area median income. Again, there is a 2-year waiting list for seniors desiring safe and affordable housing. The American Community Survey of 2013 found that the median household income for seniors in Southfield is $39,309. There are 1,820 seniors still working in Southfield as of 2013. John Grace Arms will consist of 51 one-bedroom and 9 two-bedroom units. The apartments will be reserved for seniors earning 60% or less of the area median income. A significant percentage of seniors who are 55 and older contribute to the workforce. Nearly half the residents of John Grace Arms are estimated to be actively employed. Beaumont Hospital's Farmington Hills campus is actively recruiting, as well as other larger employers such as Superior Industries, KS International Investment, Chassis, Arcadia Services, GST Auto Leather, Tyson Crop Materials, Creed, Denso, and International Auto Components Group. Is there anything you'd like to add, Janae? Thank you.
I'd like to open, if there is public comment related to this proposal. Would you please stand and approach the podium and recite your name and your address slowly. You have 3 minutes for comments.
Good evening. My name is Caleb Stade. I live at 20800 Indian Street.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time to speak and provide my perspective. I just recently moved into Southfield with my wife. We're very excited to be in the city and to get to contribute towards it. I'm really excited about the opportunity to take part in the many resources that are available, from the library to the park system. There's a lot of great spaces in the city that we want to be a part of. And one of those is the park right next to our street there. And we are in the process of expecting our first child and very excited about having that space next to us. And I think for us, the prospect of losing that much green space would be very disappointing and saddening to us, because as it is, it's a great space to run and have people over and get to fly kites and have pickup volleyball or other field activities that are out there that I just don't feel like are very close to our location otherwise. So while I appreciate that green space is being preserved as part of this proposal, it's just not a lot of space, and it would severely limit the activities available there, as well as, depending on how it's laid out. I know that there was, in the initial meeting, some confusion on whether the play structure is going to be next to the street or at the back. If it was next to the street, that would just be more dangerous than we would like be more comfortable with, especially with the increased potential traffic with having the facilities on that street. I recognize that some of the comments we were given was that the residents don't drive often, but there would be an increase in traffic based off of the employees that are there, whether it's the security guards, the staff, and we would really rather have less activity on that street so that I could have my kids out biking on their on their own or on their scooters and not have to worry as much about additional congestion there. So those are my two main concerns: is the loss of green space and additional traffic on the road. Once it's complete, obviously there'd also be additional noise and congestion with the construction, but I understand that's just part of having the building. So I appreciate what we're trying to do with providing senior living, and I think that's valuable and important. But as a person living there, I would prefer and encourage that not be at this particular location.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Just speak
Is it all right to
clearly.
drop this to speak?
That's fine. Can you give
My
your name?
name's Thomas Daniel. I live at 20904 Indian. Caleb and Malia are my neighbors. Ready? My wife and I moved in there 30 years ago. I've got a lot of questions on there. I have no objection to something being done with the school itself. The 20 units in there for senior citizens, that's awesome. But the park space itself is the attraction of the neighborhood. Looking at what's up on the board there too, these are all single-family homes, nice-sized lots, and now in the middle of it, you're proposing to throw Riverbend Apartments in the middle of our neighborhood. Has anybody done a lengthy study of that neighborhood and that park to see how it is used? I live right next door. I mean, my fence is right next to John Gray's. That park gets used all the time. It's nice to have that kind of space. There is no other space to that degree anywhere. Kids are coming out and playing football in the fall. Fathers and sons and daughters are out there playing baseball. Green space. I mean, the way I'm looking at this right now, you get that nice 50 to 100-foot strip that runs to the back there. What is that? I mean, that's not the park. That's not, again, getting back to, and then we also look at it from a resale point of view. How am I going to sell my house? We're in our 60s. How am I going to sell my house down the road when I'm jammed up next to an apartment complex? And it's just, one thing I was wondering, is there any way that you can look into at the old school, confine everything over there, do what you have there, and if you can't get the extra 47 or whatever it is in there, then maybe there's another location for seniors. But it would just be a shame with that playground structure they have there, and then that wide open space for people, for kids, for adults. We got the girls coming in there and doing their dance classes there all winter or all summer long.
Mr. Daniel, you have 10
picnics.
seconds.
There's just a lot of activity. I would say before you jump the gun, get somebody over there and see how we really use that park over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any additional public comments? Any additional public comments? Given none, I'm going to close the public hearing on this proposal. Commissioners, we'll start with Commissioner Culpepper.
Thank you, Chair. As I said in our previous meetings, we have always looked at having these schools to be not torn down, to have some use out of them, and this is one of the second one we looked at. Looking at the standards, what RUD standards are, they meet the standards. They check all the boxes. They meet all of the 8 qualifications to be compatible with the area. Now, I do understand that there may be some disruption within the community. And at their last meeting, I made it perfectly clear that I felt that the petitioners should talk to the residents, get a feel of buy-in from the residents, let them know what they were planning on doing. Now, hearing this, I guess the sounding reason is that you're going to lose the park. You're not going to be able to utilize the park. There should or could be some type of conversation done about how much of a destruction this unit is going to be to that area. Based on what I'm seeing, they meet the standards. So when they check the box, you got to go with them. But I'm hoping that there can be some conversation about this. Now, we need these units. There's no doubt in my mind that there is a housing problem in Southfield, and having this for senior citizens is good. But I'm hoping that this unit, these people can be good neighbors, and that's my whole thing. You want to be good neighbors. So there need to be some conversation, and I guess what I'm hearing from the people talking is about losing the park, losing the green space. I don't know, but they meet the qualifications, they meet the standards, and I'm glad we're reusing the building. We're not tearing the building down, putting something there that's out of sequence with what's there. So I'm 100% in favor of it. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Griffith?
Yeah, I think this is a great example of an adaptive reuse project. It's saving a historically significant building. That's probably not economically feasible at 20 units. So it's it's a win-win to have a few additional senior units. It makes it viable. They did keep a park, which is great. Maybe not as much open space as was there originally, but I think it was a nice compromise of what's needed to make the project functional, viable, and usable for everybody in the community. So I really like these adaptive reuse projects, especially when we can repurpose a vacant school and some vacant land, and it's not like it's covering up all the vacant land. So I'm really in favor of this project.
Commissioner Martin?
I also like the project. I think one of the things that's needed is for Parks and Recreation to provide information on what the layout of the park area will be, since there will be changes to it, so that the residents have a better idea of what will be done with the park, with the play area. But otherwise, I think it's an excellent idea to add senior housing.
Commissioner Willis?
Rather than saying ditto, I have a couple of questions. One is, the school building is going to be redesigned as an adaptive reuse, but the addition is going to be built from the ground up. I'm just wondering if the addition is a second phase, or will that addition be built along with the the reuse of the schoolwork?
If it pleases the chair,
Yes.
it'll be built as one phase.
The second question I have is, you're saying it is going to accommodate those whose AMI is 60%, 60% of AMI. Do you know what the area income is today? Ballpark?
It's about 40,000.
About
Come up here.
And so you would have an idea what your rents are for the units, for both the one-bedroom and two-bedroom? I don't think we've heard that. Could you let us know what that is? And if you could identify yourself when you, I don't mean to take your call, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Willis, Planner Code, is that aligned with,
Yeah, she's part of the application,
Okay.
so she can speak to that.
Okay.
This is my colleague, Janae Eisenmenger.
My name is Janae Eisenmenger. First name is Janay. Eisenmenger is Eisenmenger. And I apologize, I'm with Lockwood Management, and our corporate address is 27777 Franklin Road, Southfield.
Okay, and I think my questions were, do you know what the rents are for the one-bedroom and for two-bedroom?
Yes, the one bedrooms would be approximately $750 per month,
Okay,
and the two bedrooms would be close to $900 per month.
okay.
And there's a total of 51 one bedrooms and 9 two bedrooms.
Do you know if the parking spaces will be assigned or they first come, first served?
Probably first come, first serve, sir, but we always are reassessing. We like to form resident council advisory boards, and so we're always reassessing and taking input from the residents in terms of what works for a particular community and their preferences.
Okay. I also recall the one of the documents in front of me that said you have met with a number of organizations to ensure access to, but I didn't see one that discussed their safety. If you're looking at individuals over 65, they may be a little more vulnerable. Have you had the discussion with either police or public safety, or is there a plan in play?
I have not had direct conversation with them. I have had a number of in-house meetings with my property management development team. We manage quite a number of senior communities, and we're very fortunate at these senior communities to get services from PACE of Southeast Michigan, which is a nonprofit that specializes in medical care to seniors. And PACE visits Woodridge, they visit other senior facilities that we manage, and we've already gotten a letter of support from them. We've gotten a letter of support from Michigan State Extension Office to do programming as well. We've received a letter of support from Focus Hope to do workforce development, and we've also received a letter of recommendation from Gleaners to provide food supplements and supports.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Oh, lastly, I'm sorry, we have one more letter of support from SMART to provide a small connector transit bus service as well, too.
Thank you.
Commissioner Huntington?
Yes, I have one more question for you, excuse me. Is there also a section for dogs?
We do allow our tenants to have dogs.
I mean, outside?
We would look at that courtyard, a portion of that, to be, also used for the enjoyment of our pet friends.
Okay, but right now you have nothing planned, right?
We have nothing planned right now. I would want to take a look at our other senior communities and see what the percentage of animals that our seniors currently have. And I wish I had a better idea of what that percentage would be. But we do make all of our units pet-friendly, and, there is an additional deposit that has to be, applied for to, provide for any repair that would be needed should an animal, have an unusually amount of wear and tear.
Okay, but overall, I think the rezoning request for the RUDD makes a lot of sense. This is a good, solid building. Repurposing this building is a good idea. This is something the city of Southfield needs. And I like the design of it. I like the barrier-free design. I like the covered pickup areas. It's like they put a lot of thought into what's going to make things better for the seniors. So I really like the design of it. I think the landscape and everything else you're doing here is really going to make the neighborhood look good. I think it's going to help the neighborhood rather than hurt the neighborhood. But overall, I think it can be a good project if it's done properly, and we keep the neighbors in mind also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Culpepper, are there any other questions?
Thank you, Chair. One other comment. Good thing that the picture's up on the screen now. We know what the school looks like now, the area looks like now. And looking at this, with the landscaping that they plan on doing, I think it'll beautify the neighborhood. I think it'll help the residents with the people that's there. I understand that some of the park is going to be, some of the green space may be taken away, but take a look at that what's there now being proposed that would be there compared to what's there now. It will enhance the neighborhood, in my opinion. So that's all. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Griffiths?
I think we need all types of new housing in the city of Southfield, and this is one of the missing pieces. Market rate housing is also very necessary. I'd love to see other schools be repurposed for market rate housing in other neighborhoods. But I think this is a good fit for this particular building and this particular site, especially. So it's a great project.
Commissioner Martin?
I have a couple of questions on the development of the building. You're talking about the area having barrier-free apartments. Are they going to be located first floor and second floor?
Yes, we have 2 elevators in the facility. We are proposing 2 elevators in the facility,
In both
so it's all
both
accessible.
The existing and the new?
I'm sorry?
The existing and the new?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, really and truly, if I can't see any problems with it. I mean, I do understand the neighbors and their concerns, but here again, like I say, Parks and Recreation needs to, or as a builder, you need to explain what's going to happen to the area, but I think it's an excellent idea to improve the neighborhood.
Commissioner Willis?
Thank you. Housing is at such a premium. I think this project checks off all of the boxes, so I have to support my colleagues in the support of this project. I think it's all of the right things, so I appreciate the effort, and I thank you for presenting to us.
Commissioner Huntington?
Just overall, I just think they're really maximizing, the space they have, and I think the design is good, what we're trying to do.
Commissioner Culpepper, any additional questions?
No.
Commissioner Griffiths, any additional questions? Commissioner Martin?
No.
Any additional questions? Commissioner Willis?
None, thank you.
Commissioner Huntington?
No.
I think that this is a great project. I think that it's a needed project. I would hope that the developer and the community would have an opportunity to talk more, to help identify a resolution a resolution to some of the community concerns. With that, is there a recommendation
Through
from
the
the
chair,
department? Yes.
I'd like to make some comments before we go to
Sure.
recommendation. There is a revitalization plan study that is being prepared, which you'll be reviewing next month. And the public will have an opportunity to comment on that as well. So we're looking at it, not just the site, but holistically the neighborhood. And as you recall, Parks and Rec just completed a master plan for the entire city with several opportunities for public comment. And those public comments are being incorporated into implementation plan all the way down to the neighborhood level. We consciously worked with the not-for-profit and the developer to reserve a 1-acre neighborhood park because we know how important that is to the neighborhood. And eventually, the Parks Department will be making improvements and listening to the needs of the residents while making those improvements. So there'll still be some opportunity for public input. There was a meeting held at Beechwoods, I think last fall. This public hearing in itself and other public hearings are giving the community the opportunity to make their concerns known, and I think those that were raised tonight are legitimate, but we have tried to address that by preserving this 1-acre park. Other comments real quick. I know I was one that was advocating for a covered drop-off area, and it might be my eyes are getting old, but could you, I don't see that on the plan.
Yes. There are 2 drop-off zones. There's one in the rear of the building, sort of between the 2 buildings, and then there's a covered drop-off for inclement weather drop-off that is on the south side of the building. It's the first sidewalk that is coming in the building. I wish I could point. Jeff, you got a pointer? Yeah, right there. There's a canopy that extends from the building there.
Maybe we need a blow-up or,
Okay.
again, I'm not reading that on the plan.
Okay.
I did raise the issue of if there was going to be dogs allowed, that there would be a dog, enclosed dog area similar to what we had at Arbor Lofts. So there's a small fenced-in area for dogs to be, exercised and pottied. That's not at the park space. I did ask for some additional information on the outdoor seating area, covered picnic area. So maybe those are provided in some details. But I would make our recommendations based on some of these being incorporated. I also want to just take a step back. When we created the residential unit development district, it was for projects like this. We have 10 to 12 vacant school buildings that are underutilized or are falling apart. We didn't want those buildings ending up in landfills. In order to make the economics work, as Mr. Griffiths has alluded to, the 20 units in the existing building, which just would not be feasible to save the entire project. So there's a balance of allowing some new construction with the existing historic buildings in order to save it and provide amenities to the neighborhood, such as the 1-acre park, as well as I understand that the community gymnasium would be available for community events. So those are some of the trade-offs that we have to do. I firmly do believe that this project, once it's completed, will rise all boats, and I think it will improve and enhance the livability and the sale of future homes, because it'll be looked at as an amenity. And I think about my elderly parents and my in-laws who have had to go into facilities. To be able to live, walk, and visit independent living, assisted living within their neighborhood is a huge asset. So I think for all those reasons, I'm in favor of this project. I think it's going to be a great keystone for future projects, and I think the neighborhood ultimately will benefit from the redevelopment of this area. Thank you.
Is there a recommendation from the planning department?
Yes, there is, Madam Chair. With regard to PZR RUDD 22-0001, the Planning Department does make favorable recommendation to rezone 4.62 acres of land to Residential Unit Development District, RUDD, for the remodel and repurpose of the existing John Gray School for 18 residential units for seniors, construction of a new addition for 42 residential units for seniors, with various amenities for recreation, social, community activities, per the RUDD regulations, and the following reasons with the following conditions. Southfield Comprehensive Master Plan indicates recreation and conservation for this property. Change to RUDD would be compatible with and similar to the existing residential zonings and land uses to the north and to the west. Proposal is in accordance with the standards for rezoning of property in the RUD regulations. Petitioners to work with the city planner and city attorney to finalize the John Grace Arms RUDD development agreement and get recorded with Oakland County. Development shall be commenced within 18 months of the schedule set forth in the approved plan for the RUDD. If construction is not commenced within the required time, approval of the plan shall become null and void. Unless waived or modified by the development agreement, the yard and bulk parking, loading, landscaping, lighting, and other standards shall comply with those found in the single-family residential district standards for R1. These shall maintain 25% open space and must be located in a public thoroughfare with direct access to the thoroughfare. That completes this recommendation.
Commission, is there a motion?
To the chair.
Commissioner Griffith?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion for a favorable recommendation, PZRUDD 22-0001.
Support.
It has been moved and supported by Commissioner Huntington, moved by Commissioner
Griffiths.
and seconded by Commissioner Huntington. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of minutes from January 12th.
If I may, through the chair,
Yes.
you do have to take action on the two site plans, even though they are postponements.
Okay. So, for site plan PSP 21-0013.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. If you recall, this particular project was before you a couple of weeks ago. This is for the Triumph Church in the Old Star Theater. The petitioner continues to gather the additional information that the Planning Department has requested, including a CIS, a Community Impact Statement, and a traffic study. Those should be available to us within the next maybe 3 weeks to a month. So therefore, the Planning Department is recommending that PSP 21-0013 be both postponed to a date certain, that being your April 27th, 2022 regular meeting.
To the chair.
Yes.
I also move that PSP 21-0013 be postponed to a date certain, April 27th.
Support.
The proposal has been moved by Commissioner Culpepper and second by Commissioner Willis to postpone to April 27th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. PSP 22-0001.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So this is the site plan for the new exterior stairway on the back of the building located at 29444 Northwestern Highway. The petitioner was not able to provide the new site plan to us with additional information for some existing information from a previously approved site plan. So we are requesting that PSP 22-0001 be postponed to a date certain, that being your March 23rd, 2022 regular meeting.
Is there a motion?
To the chair,
Commissioner Culpepper.
I move that PSP 22-0001 be postponed to a date certain, March 23rd, 2022.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Culpepper and second by Commissioner Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on approval of minutes. January 12th, 2022, January 19th, 2022, January 26th, 2022. Is there a motion?
To the chair, I'd like to make a motion approval of the minutes for January 12th, 19th, and 26th as provided.
Need a
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner
Through the chair, if I
Martin.
may.
Yes.
I would only like to comment as secretary, I feel reluctant to initiate that motion. And so I just wanted to share, it seems self-serving in a parliamentary format for me to ask for approval of a document that I'm supposed to sign.
Okay.
So just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's been moved by Commissioner
Martin.
Martin and second by Commissioner Griffiths, that we accept the minutes from January 12th, 18th, and 26th of the year 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing. At this time, anyone would like to address the commission? You have 3 minutes. Please approach the podium, give your name and your address.
Just through the chair for correction, you said public hearing, it's public comment.
Public comment, I'm sorry, public comment. Public comment. Any public want to comment? Given that no one has approached the podium, we're going to close this section of public comment. Next, we have miscellaneous. Our next meeting is, study meeting is March the 2nd, 2022.
Yes, Madam Chair, so we do have a number of items to bring before you in March. It will be a kind of a busy month with master plan and CIP and a couple of other new projects coming before you.
Is there anything for the good of the order? Given none, I call the meeting adjourned at 7:19 p.m.